You're at a party and someone asks, "So, what's your net worth?" Instant panic. You've got maybe $20,000 in savings, some student loans, and absolutely no idea if that makes you broke, average, or quietly winning. Here's the part nobody explains. Your net worth isn't just a number. Each bracket is basically a different reality. Most people don't even know which one they're living in. So let's break down every net worth level and what actually changes as you move up the wealth ladder. Negative net worth. The debt prison. Meet Jake. Jake has $15,000 in his checking account and feels pretty good about himself. Then he calculates his net worth. Student loans, $60,000. Car loan, $20,000. Credit cards, $8,000. Jake's net worth is negative $73,000. Jake isn't alone. 40% of Americans have negative net worth. They owe more than they own. Jake makes $60,000 a year, but feels broke because he is broke. Every dollar he earns goes to paying for his past, instead of building his future. Jake's biggest problem isn't his income, it's his mindset. He thinks having money in his account means he's doing well, but net worth is what matters, not cash flow. Jake is paying interest on everything while earning interest on nothing. The debt prison is psychological as much as financial. Jake feels like he's running on a treadmill that keeps speeding up. He's working harder, but getting nowhere because compound interest is working against him instead of for him. 0 to 50,000, breaking even. Meet Lisa. Lisa just paid off her student loans and calculated her net worth for the first time. $0. She owns nothing and owes nothing. Lisa feels like she's starting from scratch at age 30. And she's right. Lisa starts saving aggressively. She lives with roommates, drives a used car, and packs lunch every day. After 2 years, Lisa hits $25,000 net worth. She feels rich for the first time in her adult life. But Lisa discovers that small amounts of money disappear fast. Her car needs $3,000 in repairs. Her emergency fund gets wiped out by a medical bill. Lisa learns that the first $50,000 is the hardest because you have no cushion for life's surprises. At this level, every financial decision matters. Lisa can't afford to make mistakes. She shops at discount stores, uses coupons, and tracks every expense. Lisa is building the foundation of wealth, but it doesn't feel wealthy yet. 50 to 100,000, the first cushion. Meet David. David just hit 50,000 net worth and something changes. For the first time, David isn't living paycheck to paycheck. He has options. David starts taking small risks. He invests in index funds instead of keeping everything in savings. He takes a vacation without going into debt. David feels the psychological shift from scarcity to abundance, even though 50,000 isn't life-changing money. But David also discovers lifestyle inflation. As his net worth grows, so do his expenses. Better apartment, nicer clothes, eating out more often. At this level, compound interest starts working. David's investments make money while he sleeps. It's only a few $100s a year, but it's the beginning of passive income. David is no longer just trading time for money. 100 to 250,000, real security. Meet Sarah. Sarah just crossed 100,000 net worth and feels secure for the first time. She has 6 months of expenses saved, plus investments growing in the background. Sarah sleeps better at night, knowing she can handle most emergencies. Sarah starts making different decisions. She buys quality items that last instead of cheap items she has to replace. She invests in her education and skills. Sarah thinks long-term because she has the financial stability to plan ahead. But Sarah also faces new pressures. Friends and family start asking for money. Sarah feels guilty about her success when others are struggling. She learns that wealth comes with social complications she never expected. At this level, Sarah's investments generate real returns, $5,000 to $10,000 a year in passive income. It's not enough to live on, but it's enough to notice. Sarah sees how wealthy people get wealthier through compound growth. 250,000 to 500,000, upper middle class. Meet Mike. Mike has 400,000 net worth and lives in a nice house in the suburbs. Mike feels wealthy compared to his younger self, but he doesn't feel rich. He still worries about money and works a regular job. Mike discovers that upper middle class is expensive. Private schools for his kids, higher taxes, pressure to keep up with successful neighbours. Mike makes more money, but somehow feels more financial pressure than when he was broke. Mike's investments now generate $15,000 to $20,000 a year in passive income. It's meaningful money, but not life-changing money. Mike realizes he needs to reach the next level to achieve real financial freedom. At this level, Mike starts thinking about tax optimization, estate planning, and wealth preservation. Money becomes more complex. Mike needs financial advisors and accountants. Wealth management becomes a part-time job. 500,000 to 1 million. Almost there. Meet Jennifer. Jennifer has 800,000 net worth and can taste financial independence. Her investments generate 30,000 to 40,000 a year in passive income. Jennifer starts thinking about early retirement, but Jennifer discovers the almost there trap. She's close enough to financial freedom to see it, but far enough away to feel frustrated. Jennifer becomes obsessed with reaching 1 million, the psychological milestone of wealth. Jennifer makes aggressive investment decisions, trying to accelerate her timeline. She takes bigger risks, chases higher returns, and sometimes makes emotional decisions. At this level, Jennifer's lifestyle is comfortable, but not extravagant. She drives a nice car, lives in a good neighborhood, and takes decent vacations. Jennifer is wealthy by most standards, but doesn't feel wealthy yet. 1 to 3 million. True financial independence. Meet Robert. Robert just hit 1.5 million net worth and everything changes. Robert's investments generate 60,000 to 70,000 a year in passive income. Robert could quit his job and maintain his lifestyle indefinitely. Robert experiences true financial freedom for the first time. He works because he wants to, not because he has to. Robert takes risks in his career because he has screw you money. He can walk away from anything that doesn't serve him. But Robert discovers that financial independence doesn't solve all problems. He still has relationship issues, health concerns, and existential questions. Money solved his money problems, but created new problems he never anticipated. At this level, Robert's wealth becomes self-sustaining. His investments grow faster than his expenses. Robert is on the path to becoming truly wealthy, not just financially independent. 3 to 10 million. Wealthy. Meet Patricia. Patricia has 5 million net worth and is officially wealthy. Patricia's investments generate 200,000 a year in passive income. Patricia lives comfortably without touching her principal. Patricia's life looks different from regular people. Private schools, luxury vacations, nice cars, beautiful home. But Patricia discovers that wealthy people have wealthy people problems. Higher taxes, complex investments, family dynamics around money. Patricia starts thinking about legacy and impact. How to raise kids who aren't spoiled by wealth. How to give back to society. How to use money as a tool for good instead of just accumulation. At this level, Patricia's wealth grows automatically. She makes more money from investments than most people make from working. Patricia understands why the rich get richer. Compound interest at scale is incredibly powerful. 10 to 50 million very wealthy. Meet Charles. Charles has 20 million net worth and lives in a different world. Charles owns multiple homes, travels by private jet, and has staff to manage his life. Charles's biggest problem is finding meaningful ways to spend his time. Charles discovers that extreme wealth is isolating. He can't relate to normal people's problems, and normal people can't relate to his. Charles's social circle shrinks to other very wealthy people who understand his unique challenges. Charles's wealth generates more money than he can reasonably spend. His investments make $1 to $2 million a year. Charles focuses on wealth preservation, tax optimization, and philanthropic giving. At this level, money becomes abstract. Charles thinks in terms of impact and legacy. Charles's wealth will likely grow for generations regardless of his spending habits. 50 million plus, ultra wealthy. Meet Elizabeth. Elizabeth has 100 million net worth and unlimited financial options. Elizabeth's wealth generates $5 to $10 million a year. Elizabeth's challenges are entirely non-financial. How to find purpose and meaning. How to raise grounded children. How to use wealth responsibly. Elizabeth's problems are philosophical rather than practical. Elizabeth's wealth is generational. Her family will be wealthy for centuries unless they make catastrophic mistakes. Elizabeth thinks about societal impact, political influence, and historical legacy. At this level, Elizabeth's wealth is a responsibility as much as an asset. She controls resources that could change thousands of lives. Elizabeth's decisions affect communities, not just her family. Here's what actually changes as you climb the wealth ladder. Each level brings different problems, different opportunities, and different responsibilities. The biggest change isn't lifestyle, it's psychology. Poor people think about survival. Middle-class people think about security. Wealthy people think about impact. Ultra-wealthy people think about legacy. But here's the paradox. Each level of wealth creates new problems while solving old ones. More money doesn't make you happier, it just makes you unhappy about different things. The key insight: focus on the level you're trying to reach, not the level you wish you were at. If you're at 0, focus on reaching 50,000. If you're at 50,000, focus on reaching 100,000. Your net worth determines your options, but your character determines what you do with those options. Money amplifies who you already are. It doesn't change your fundamental nature. So figure out your current net worth level. Understand what changes at the next level, and focus on the specific strategies that will get you there. Because the wealth ladder is climbed one rung at a time, and every rung teaches you something new about money and life.